on Channel 2, we now have Gardener's World. It's now 8 p.m. and time to meet the Thamesmen.
There's going to be a fierce outbreak of ska, and ska is the new beat from the West Indies, from Jamaica. A new sound to replace perhaps the Mersey sound. In fact, you might call this the Merciless sound.
What was that?
That was my dick.
You were hitting the table with excitement.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Got a little hat on.
Has it got a name?
3, 2, 1. Judge! How are you?
I'm all right. I'm still slightly astounded by your comment just before we started. I won't mention it here. My name is George. I'm in Los Angeles. And what's your little friend called, Alex?
My name is Alex and I am in San Francisco.
Okay. All right.
Welcome everyone to the Thamesmen, the channel, the most enigmatic, light entertainment, low budget reaction channel there is available. You've taken a wrong turn. You're here now. You might as well stay. So welcome.
And it's Ska Week, as you may have noticed. And we are like Ska is, I think, is it peculiarly English?
No.
Oh, well, obviously it started in Jamaica.
Because there were three ska waves. The first one being Jamaican.
Yeah, that's
the
what I meant.
second one being English.
London.
Right, so that's when you get punk ska. That's when you get the Rude Boys, the Specials, and the Clash, and everyone like that. Third one that went worldwide, and that's when you get like skate punk ska and stuff like that. You know, it got a bit watered down. But the era that we are right now, the second generation ska. The first one was really happy, like, you know, really Caribbean calypso. But you know, the punk ska is where we're at the moment.
Very interesting stuff.
You're right. It is British. That is.
Yeah, I think and it's almost. Yeah, I just feel it's very London as well. That sort of
not just that, West London as well.
It's that sort of melting pot of cultures that brought together these different influences, and I don't know, just remember from that time it felt very
Yeah, and it's West London as well, because West London, when the Jamaicans and the West Indians came over, they first of all settled pretty much in West London,
right? And
then the Clash and whatever. If you watch the Clash, you'll see them running in and out of Trellick Tower. That's Portobello Road. That's, you know, that is Notting Hill. That's all that area, and around there and a bit further up, and you know that is kind of really the home of ska.
Right. Wow, very cool. Excellent. Excellent. So we are going to do what track then?
We are doing the Clash, and we're doing Pressure Drop, and Chris has done some notes for us, hasn't he?
Yeah. Do you want me to read them? Do you want to read them?
Your turn to read the word.
Okay. Well. So this is like we love the Clash. So anyway, so today we're going to look at the Clash, and the song is Pressure Drop, which is actually a cover. Interestingly, so two-tone ska was the marriage of the traditional ska with reggae beats, played at a much higher speed of punk. The Clash in 1977 recorded a cover of Toots and the Maytals' song Pressure Drop. So that's where you may have heard it before. It was the B-side of the single English Civil War and featured the reggae beats and horns that would characterize the new ska. Joe Strummer would point out that they recorded it before two-tone ska, two-tone ska, possibly making it the first modern ska recording. It was played live often, and Strummer often have it on his solo sets as well. And Chris says, it's really here because Alex mentioned the Clash would be in the Ska Week. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. You can't have Ska Week without the Clash. A two-tone, was it two-tone because it was black and white? The outfits people wore always black and white. You know, when you look at the Specials, their covers were black and white. They'd have a black hat and a white shirt and a black trousers. You know, is that two-tone?
Yeah, but is it a fashion reference or was it a musical reference?
Well, both.
Right.
Well, they actually might have had more than two tones.
Well, obviously they had more than two tones.
This one's written a C. This one's written a G. Back to C. But the I'm going to look that up. Why
is two-tone?
Tone called two-tone? It is called because it arrived from Two-Tone Records. By 1979.
So neither of our ideas.
By 1979, Jerry Stroud of the Specials referred reference to desire, transcension, and diffuse radical racial tensions in Thatcher-era Britain. Okay, the Specials, the Selectors, and the English beat, right? Okay. Also featured a mix of, non-white and white, so multiracial. So it also reflected that as well.
Ah, there you go. All right. Yeah, that would be right.
Ooh, there's a rabbit hole for you. Jesus.
Who'd have thought it? Come to the good old Thamesmen, learn something. God damn it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What's
the funniest name you've ever heard in real life?
You were okay.
Do you remember the Irish? Do you remember the Irish Prime Minister? And I remember his name was Dick Spring, and they'd always talk about it on the news about Dick Spring. You know,
what's the head of the United Nations? Boutros Ghali, or whatever it was. I always remember Boutros Ghali as well. But I think it was
do you remember the English goalkeeper? He was called Seaman.
What a scramble. Pesky Solido, and it was somehow kept out by Seaman. That is a fantastic save. Don't think that's it.
David Seaman.
And it was, oh my God, there's flying seamen. You know what I mean? It's just like, Jesus Christ, can we not get a decent name for our English goalkeeper?
Well, I always remember, was it from the apartheid era in South Africa? There was the politician there. I don't think he pronounced it like that, but his name was Tokyo Sex Whale.
Tokyo Sex Whale.
Well, I always thought that's your Tinder name. If you had the name Tokyo Sex Whale, you probably no one would swipe you.
You got more luck.
Yeah. You might. Yeah. Is that really a name, Tokyo Sex Whale?
No, I think it was actually Tokyo Sex Wale. But anyway, it was. I don't know. It was just schoolboy humor. I found it amusing.
Oh God, I think that's absolutely fantastic. It should be a name for a band. All right.
I think it may have been. Well, anyway.
This isn't Tokyo Sex Whale. This is a Clash. So let's do
it. Much more sensible name. So,
and also there was Mr. and Mrs. Lifeboat and a daughter Mandy.
No, you don't. Mandy Lifeboats.
Oh dear.
I think we've had that one before. Anyway.
Anyone.
Right. Oh, one's the best ones. Are you ready, sir?
Yes.
The Clash. Pressure drop. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh man.
the wrong move. Now when it drop, you're gonna feel it. No, you're doing it wrong, wrong, wrong. Pressure drop, oh, pressure, oh, pressure. That's all you do. Pressure drop, oh, pressure, oh, pressure. Up on you. Now, when it drop off, you know that little head. It's gonna go on you. When it drop off, you're gonna feel it.
Wow. I had never heard that.
Not that version. I'd heard the
No.
original Pressure Drop, but not that version.
I know the Toots version. I've never
yeah,
heard the Clash version. It's brilliant.
You know, the Clash, I think it's probably one of life's great regrets. I never saw the Clash live.
No,
you know?
no, do I.
And now looking back, they were intelligent rock, punk rock, ska, whatever they were. They were way more than my schoolboy teenage impression of them was, if that makes sense.
Well said. So punk. Both George and I were a little bit too young to be punks, right? Punk was just one bit back behind us, but I knew the Clash, and I've always recognized their songwriting, because a few bands came out of the punk era with superb songwriting. One is the Clash, the other is the Ramones, right? And still relevant today. And just like you said, I did not appreciate them at the time, how brilliant they were.
Yeah, and you know, I would have almost, if I'd had the opportunity to go to a Clash gig, I wouldn't have, because I would have been scared. It was still very punk edgy kind of thing, and I was a rock guy, and you know, in London or England, you lived the fear that you'd get your head kicked in if you went to the wrong gig, sort of thing. And and now I wish I'd done it, you know, like, you know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But the songwriting in them is brilliant, and they always, you know, everyone holds up Joe Strummer, and it's only kind of now I realize that was, I dare say, it was better than the original.
Different enough, totally different. You know, total respect to the original, different, and it was driving its own path. You know, and Joe Strummer, fantastic.
I loved when it kind of dropped down at the end and then came in heavy and then dropped down again and then came in heavy. It was, and I love the sound of the guitar. It was so well played all the way through. So that was a B-side of a single.
Yeah, I mean, the Clash. Well, I mean, you could do a whole week on the Clash. You know,
I know. And for those who don't know, the Clash are revered in England as one of the great bands. You know, because they were unpretentious. They were working class. They weren't your kind of, you know, trying to be famous like Spangled, whatever. They were just the Clash.
Yeah.
And then they turned into Big Audio Dynamite with after Joe Strummer went, and you know,
Big Audio Dynamite had some great tracks as well. You know,
yeah, absolutely brilliant, brilliant. I adored that. I'm going to be listening to that again.
Yeah, and that's a real playlisty kind of song. I think, you know, it's like, you know, you could definitely, like, you could driving playlist. You know, that'd be brilliant. You know,
most bands, imagine flipping that on the B side.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You know, just an utterly brilliant two-tone ska cover of a Toot and the Maytals track. Yeah. Superbly done. And you throw that on the B. How good do you have to be to throw that on the B side?
You had to be the Clash, didn't you?
You have to be the Clash.
The Clash. Yes. A very clever band.
I don't know if many bands today could take that song on like that.
Yeah, I wonder.
With authenticity.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. So,
right.
Really good choice. Well, Alex, well done for sneaking a Clash track into the Ska Week, because that was part of that history. Absolutely.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us in Ska Week. Hopefully you enjoy it. We're actually learning a lot here. I love these weeks as well. I learned quite a bit, you know.
It's all the bits we missed. And you get those comments we get from people where they're sort of like, you know, they're they're sort of like, how come you guys grew up and don't know anything about name that band, you know? And we're like, well, I don't know. That's why we're doing it now.
Yeah, when we did Yes, there was something. I can't believe you guys knew nothing about. It's like
never heard Roundabout.
Yeah, but I could tell you what colour underwear Lou Reed wore on, September the 7th, 1971. Can you? Or I challenged them to a Hawkwind contest. And they don't know anything about Hawkwind. What? But yeah, but that's what's so good about this week is because when, in today's music, you can get stuck in your hamster wheel, listening to your own playlist and whatever. When we take on a week like this and it's curated for us and I love it. I learn so much.
Well, I think when we're young, we have our lane. That's the thing that your friends around your family, in your case, influenced you, and that's the lane they put you in. And I think very few people some people do, but I certainly didn't spread out, and they have much broader taste. So for like 5-10 years, you live in your lane, and then you start to have other influences. You've got to spread your net. And and I think when I spread my net, it was after Yes had been a thing, and so that's a great thing about doing this now, is that we can go back and fill in all those gaps, it's always slightly amazing to be on this reaction channel thing where the names get thousands of views, and then you try something different, and very few people want to experiment. They want to stick to their lane, don't they? Even now, and I urge people, check them out. There's so many great musicians out there. It's awesome.
Yeah, we do. We have to be. This is absolute God's honest truth. We actually have to be quite careful about what tracks we pick, because if we go too far off the lane, like a track that's fantastic, but a little bit on the right hand side, but should be not. It'll get no views, and we'll get punished by YouTube on the algorithm. And you're right; not many people actually want to move, myself included, because that's why I'm enjoying these weeks, because I am made to force lanes.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, we did it with Channel 2, Thamesmen 2, where we were putting in the weird stuff so we didn't bugger up our algorithm, but just not enough time to keep filling it in, sort of thing, But if you want to check out some weird tracks, go to Thamesmen 2.
And that's it, because we get punished by YouTube if we don't keep over a certain amount of numbers. So you always it's just how YouTube works, but that's good. I mean, still to be able to get a new Clash song in my life, brilliant,
perfect. Doesn't get better than that, really, does it? So.
Right.
Wow, Ska Week rolls on.
I know, it's two-tone. I am really, really looking forward to tomorrow. So wait till tomorrow. You have to check in, because it's one of my absolute favourites for Ska.
Oh, I haven't even looked what it is yet. Excellent. All right, let's do it.
All right, take care.
See you on the flip side.